guys, Justin with Ready Business Systems here. I am just continuing my series on Copilot versus Service Autopilot. The last video was actually the fourth video. I said it was the third. So this one's going to be the fifth video. So I'm just going to catch up on some questions I was going to address this time that I ran across while I was trying to set up last time, and things I've learned just to get those answers. So we cannot import attachments to client accounts. So on this Service Autopilot screen here, we have any attachments that you have here in terms of the mobile photo gallery, etc. There's actually none in this example account. But if you want to import them into Copilot, this is going to be a manual process. So yeah, that's going to be very time consuming. I believe you can export these, so maybe you could export them to Google Drive. We can look at that later, but I did add that to the notes here, so we know now we cannot import attachments. That is not great. Some more information we'll lose in the transition. So that's number one. Number two, bulk scheduling. So I talked about another downside here that to schedule jobs, we have to do them one by one. They say they're planning on adding that end of this year, beginning of next. So I did add that to my notes here too, that it's available 2023, early 2024. So we'll see if they come through in that. These questions regarding the scheduling, just to review here, when I went to schedule this client, I lost the screen here. I still had it open. Okay, I don't. But yeah, the schedule wasn't right when I scheduled services, and maybe it had to do with the order that I added these. So I'll get back to you on that in the next video. Did you complete the job before checking the one-time tab? I never completed the job. For one-time jobs, you can create a recurring series to schedule it annually. So this was talking about the packages. So given that I've discovered that their customer service, they're helpful. We're making progress here, but it's slow because they take a day to get back to me on everything at least. So in the meantime, I'm going to move forward. I'm going to dig into some estimates, and also I'm going to check out this other feature, which is called multi-step programs. And I'm thinking that maybe I misused that one-time job feature. I used it for setting up the fall cleanup package, but perhaps the multi-step program is more what we want to, the function we want to use to accomplish our fall cleanup package, for example. But it looks like it's definitely made for the fertilizing program. So in that regard, I would guess that this is probably the feature we want to use for the fall cleanup as well. But let's go dig into that a little bit. So here we are under schedule, multi-step programs right here. So as you can see here, it looks like we can attach these programs, but we need to make a template first. So I'm going to try creating a multi-step template. Template name, trying to decide if we should use the fall cleanup example again, or maybe let's try, we know the fertilizing program is going to be this feature. We're going to use this feature for it. So let's try doing this. Save template, title, add steps to template. Okay. So I'm going to open up Service Autopilot. I'm going to go into our packages here, and I'm going to pull up our fertilizing package. I'm in the wrong account. And I'm going to open up our 855 lawn treatment package right here. So maybe this packages isn't the same as it is in Copilot, the terminology here. All right, so here we go. Here's our app one. Again, we can't import this stuff, so this is all going to be manual. We're going to go over to our multi-step. Round one is going to be this. Days from previous step. So this looks like this is pretty cut and dry here. It's going to be 30 days. We're copying these items here. Days between visits. So I assume this is going to work the same way as the waiting list in Service Autopilot, which means that this job will not appear. So in Service Autopilot right here, this field here, minimum days, this job won't appear on the waiting list. So again, we talked about in the last video, but this waiting list 4/1 to 4/30 means that your waiting list won't get cluttered on these dates. So you won't be able to see these apps until these dates. That way your list of jobs isn't cluttered. You don't want to be looking at app 6 when you're in April. You don't want to see that on your job list. You don't want to think about it. You don't want the clutter. So these dates override these dates. So if you put 30 days here, if you did app 1, for example, on 4/30, because you can do it until 4/30, you don't want it up to app 2. They're not eligible for app 2 until 30 days later, right? So you don't want to appear in 5.1. So these dates here will override those dates. So I'm going to make the assumption that's going to be the same here in Copilot. Time for visit hours. I'm assuming this is budget hours. I guess I'll just leave that blank for now. Invoiceable, yes. I don't know why we wouldn't want to invoice that. Maybe if they're on some sort of contract that would override the billing. So let's do add step to template. Services, no services. Okay, add service. And this is going to be right here. It's going to be the app 1 service, app 1 right here. Add. Close. Okay. We don't need to assign crews right now, I don't think. Okay, round 2. Cool. So this is pretty straightforward. I'm going to pause this video while I bang through and add the rest of these steps the same way. All right, cool. So I got all these apps added to the program. Something to note here that I'm not sure if this can be set up right, but we have options, so we can do both of these in the same application. So I wasn't certain how they wanted this set up because I do have the ability to add multiple services to each step. But judging by the box here, around 11, as you can see, I don't have 11 rounds. I have all these, but they're performed in different time periods. So I don't know if this is set up properly, having them all separate like this as separate apps, even though maybe they should be combined. I should have 2 services under one, but we'll find out down the road and we can make changes if necessary. Another observation is that this is not, again, it doesn't have dates for like a waiting list type feature. So I don't know how this is going to show up and how they're going to know when this needs to get done, or if it's just going to be a big cumulative job list. I don't know how they deal with that at the moment. So we'll discover that later, I suppose. The last thing is that the last observation here is that this isn't a big deal creating these packages for a company level, because you only have so many packages here, right? Like this is a one-time thing. We're obviously going to have to manually create all these packages, and some of them are old. We don't use them anymore, so it's not the end of the world. It's not going to take forever. So I'm not really concerned about manually creating these packages that much. It's a little bit of a pain, but it's to be expected. Some sort of work there to make the transition between software. But the concerning parts are just the client level stuff, because although there's only 10, 20, 30 packages you might have to manually enter, if you have thousands of clients, uploading those attachments or scheduling jobs, it's going to be much more time consuming to do that 3,000 times versus 10 to 30 times to create these packages. So anyway, I saved that. So now let's go see if we can, what happens when we go to schedule this package here. So yeah, one thing I just noticed here is that there's no search. You can't access recent clients here in the search box, which is a minor inconvenience. Not the end of the world, but in order to find this client, I had to go manually find it again. I like the ability to have some sort of history. So that seems to be lacking here. Something else I noticed. All right, so we got this recurring series. Let's see if we can now schedule this this job, this package job. So from the client screen here, I'm not seeing a way to add. I see a recurring and a one-time. I'm not seeing a way to add these multi-step programs from this screen. So if I go over to this, the other screen I was just on, underneath the schedule, team schedule here, and then I click multi-step programs, and now it looks like I can select. It still shows it's underneath that client, but I didn't see a way to access this from within the actual client screen. I actually had to click on the schedule. So we click fertilizing program, select program template. So we have this fertilizing program we just created. Okay, template fertilizing program properties. So I have to assign a property. So I click here. We have an address, and then maybe create program. All right, save and generate visits. So let's see how this works here. I'm going to change the property to the one we're already working with. So again, intuitively, you would think that, I was already inside this client, that it would default to that. But it looks like I have to manually select the client. So it doesn't look like there's a way to have these multi-step programs directly from that client. So let's see what happens now. Create program. Awesome. So fertilizing program, we got the different visits here. So I suppose the way we're doing things, if they didn't want any of these, we could just delete the ones for each specific to that client. And this definitely looks like this is the budget hours, time for each visit. So inside of the actual Service Autopilot, this information is found inside the service settings for the budget hours. So we'd have to pull it from there. So these aren't right, but that's okay for now. Let's just see what happens. We can fix all this stuff later, just trying to get familiar with how this system works. Program updated successfully. All right, so let's go back to the client page. And let's see, occurring one time. All right, cool. So now we have these one-time jobs. Interesting. So we have these scheduled visits on here for all the different apps. So that looks like what we want to happen here. So interesting, in terms of the waiting list here, this just kind of made its own dates in here. December 2nd, 2023, January 1st, 2024. The rest, that's what the rest of these applications are scheduled for. I don't know why it picked those dates. December 2nd, today is November 2nd. I don't know why it's picking November 2nd. I don't know why I assigned these as January 1st, 2024. I assume there's got to be a way to set the dates on these individual applications. Yeah, just looking at this help page here, we did everything it said, team schedule, multi-step programs, is exactly what we did. Assign a property, blah, blah, blah. Create program. Once you create a program, you can review it and either save it or save and generate visits. That's exactly what we did. So it doesn't look like we did anything wrong here, but I'm just not seeing any generated visits here for like dates, a way that these would have been where we could, I never saw a place in the system where we would have picked these dates. I just clicked on the actual application. It's giving me all the details. That's cool. Visit notes. I assume this is exactly what it looks like on the mobile screen. No crews assigned. Before and after pictures, as you can see here, we can start work. You can skip it, complete it, edit it. So I'm still just curious. I'm going to start digging, see if we can figure out where those dates are coming from that these are dispatched for or on the waiting list for. So I'm back on the multi-step program settings, and I'm going to see if I can edit, because I didn't remember seeing any way that we can set the dates on these. Oh, service date. Okay. So maybe I just missed that. All right, that's fine. So, So I'm guessing these are just like the start dates here. Well, let's go through and set this. All right, so back to our package here. So we have start and end dates. So I'm guessing they're only putting start dates on here. So I'm going to put 401, 51, 51, 51. So this first one, so that's good. We can do it on a company level. This first app is going to be, let's see how we type this in here. 0401 2023. Okay, that worked. 515151. So I'm just going to go through real quick and put these dates in here. All right, so all these dates are now in here, and apparently didn't save. So it looks like I updated the dates in the package. I'm going to try re-adding, multi-step program. I'm going to try re-adding it because it doesn't look like these dates updated when I updated the multi-step, the master. So I'm going to delete this and re-add it and see if that works. Another just correction here, there is a history just located here. You can't see more than one like you can in Service Autopilot. You can see like when you click in the search box and pull the five or so most recent clients. Here you can just see the most recent client, the most recent screen you're on, basically. So that would be a nice feature to add there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to team count schedule, because again it doesn't look like we can add it from this screen. So I'm going to multi-step programs, and I'm going to delete the one I just added here. Delete. Yes. Now I'm going to do create, template. We're We're going to put a fertilizing program. We're going to add it to this chart in our client, which is our shop location. And hit create program. So I'm going to see if this pulls in the dates. I'm going to make the assumption that it's going to. I think I forgot to save that. All right, well, it's looking like this is something I need to contact support on, because I went back here to schedule multi-step programs. I click edit. As you can see here, it still has these wrong dates in here. And it looks like I'm editing specifically this fertilizing program that's underneath this client. And I added this after the template, right? After I made the changes to the dates in the template. So if I go back to this multi-step program templates, this is how I missed it, because look, if I click on edit, find this program, there's no place on this template. So now it doesn't look like I'm not under a client specifically. I'm on the main template here. And there's no place in here to put in dates. So I don't know why this isn't saving those dates there. Changing this one date, just put in this 4/1. Save and generate visits. Let's see if that puts it in for 4/1. One time. Weird. So yeah, having issues with these dates here, because I just changed one of those to 4/1 and I'm not seeing any 4/1 dates here. So it looks like none of these dates are saving. So I'll have to check on that. All right, well, I think this is a good breaking point. So there's another question. We got to figure out if we can get this fixed. And I think on the next video, we'll either answer those questions or we'll start going through some of the estimate templates. All right, I'll catch you guys next time. Thanks.